Nachman ben Fegas, Chus Yagan Aleinu, Ba'akol Yisrael. So let's sing a good Breslov Nigun in honor of tonight's learning. And you should always know if you ever have any requests, Simcha, Simcha. Here we go. Shirulo, Zamrulo, Sichu b'chol niflei osav. 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 Ay, ay, didi-dai, dai, dai, didi-ding, ding, ding, didi-dai. Oh, didi-dai, ay, didi-dai, dai, didi-dai, dai, didi-dai, dai. Ay, roe, 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 roe. Ay, dai, 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 oh, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-dum. Ay, dai, 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 dai. Shirulai, Zamrulai, Sichu b'chol niflei osav. 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 Ay, da-dai, 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 ay, da-dai, 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 oy, da-dai, 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 da-dai. Ay, ro, 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 ro. Ay, da, di, lay, da, di, day, day, da, di, lay, da, di, day. Ay, da, di, day, ay, da, di, lay, day, da, di, lay, day. Shirulai, Zamrulai, Sichu b'chol niflei osav. 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 This last Shabbos at our table, we sang this nigun for this next nigun for a while. We didn't sing it for a very long time. So if you know it, please sing with me. And if you don't know it, please sing with me. feel like singing one more niggun chera before we start learning. Sometimes you just gotta sing a bit more. Okay, so this is also a niggun. They sing in Breslov, but it's not a Breslover niggun. It's a niggun that was written by my wife's great grandfather, the holy Rebbe Nachman Zlacha. Oy, 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 oy. Oy, 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 oy. Ah, oy, 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 oy. Oy, 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 oy. Oy, 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 oy. Ah, oy, 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 oy. Ay, da, 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 oy, 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 oy. Ay, da, 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 oy, 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 oy. Ay, da, di, da, di, da, oy, da, di, da, di, di. Ay, ya, mama, ya, oy, 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 oy. Oy, ay, da, 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 oy, 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 oy. Ay, da, da, oy, mama. Ay, da, di, da, di, da, oy, da, di, da, di, di. Ay, 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 oy, 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 oy. Oy, 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 mama, mama, oy, 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 mama, 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 oy, 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 ay, da, di, da, 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 oy, 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 did dum bum 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 bum. Oy, 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 oy. Ay, ay, mama, mama, oy, ya, mama, ya, mama, mama. Oy, 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 da, da. Oy, 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 oy. Da, 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 ya, da, ya, da, ya. Oy, oy, oy. Oy, 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 oy. וחוב לא ימסקו לא יספס על הפידים ויבבס הנושב All of us saw, all of us saw, all of us saw what we also heard, and we heard what we saw. Because at the moment that God talks to you, all your senses work as one. There's no competition, there's no contradictions. There's just one limb helping the other, one sense aiding the other. Every part of us completing each other when you hear God's voice. totally here. Ashreinu Chavra, Ashreinu Matol Chelkeinu. This is I feel so lucky, so lucky. We get to learn, we get to continue to learn together, to grow together. And I want to continue dedicating these shiurim for the refuah shlema of our dear friend Chaim Menachem ben Leah, Chaim Kramer's refuah shlema Be'ezrat Hashem B'Karov Mamash. So, greetings to wherever you are, to those of you that are still in Rosh Chodesh, to those of us that are already in Bet Sivan, this very, very auspicious day, which is known also as Yom HaMeyuchas, the day of lineage. It's the day that the Ribono Shel Olam told us, go and see what you're made out of, go and remember who you come from. It's the day of going back to our roots. So it's a very, very, very special day. So there's a very, everyone knows that when Rebbe Nachman, once he settled in Breslov, there were 3 times a year that Rebbe Nachman told his Hasidim to be with him. 3 main times a year. Obviously Rosh Hashanah, and Shabbos Chanukah, and Shavuos. Shavuos was a time where they really got together quite often. And in one of the years that I want to tell you a little story about what happened, just one of the years, I think it came out to be, I think it was 1798 or 1799. Yeah, 1798 or 1799. This story happened while Rebbe Nachman was on his way to Eretz Yisrael. And Shavuos time came, and Rebbe Nachman happened to get to a town called Khorsan, where he met a group of Chabadniks, of not Lubavitchers, because they didn't get to Lubavitch yet, but Hasidim of the Alter Rebbe. And Reb Nachman spent Yom Tov with them. He spent Shavuos with them, and he learned with them. I don't know how much learning it was probably more like teaching, or just like him just listening and looking into their eyes. Who knows what happened. But a person that was there with Reb Nachman said that at the Shavuos night, after he was awake all night, he went to the mikveh with one of his, shamises that were with him. Remember, Reb Nachman there was one person that went with Reb Nachman to Eretz Yisrael, and they're not sure exactly who it is. Some say, I think it was Reb Shimon. Or Reb Naftali, Reb Shimon, not sure exactly. But anyway, this person that was with Reb Nachman after he went to the mikveh, he said that Rebbe Nachman started walking with him towards davening, and he kept on stopping and asking him, do you hear these voices? Do you hear these voices? And when the person, the Mashamish, answered him back, he said, I don't hear anything. So Rebbe Nachman asked him again. This happened like 3 or 4 times. He said to him, how could it be that you don't hear these voices, these sounds? So the person, this Mashamish, understood that Rebbe Nachman was hearing the kolos ubrakim of Kabbalah Torah. Rebbe Nachman was hearing those sounds, the thunder. He was experiencing that Kabbalah Torah of that year, of I think it was 1798. And after Rebbe Nachman came out of the mikveh, he had said that it was just revealed to him this much higher level of yirah that no one could have ever fathomed. Even higher than whatever is written in the Zohar HaKodesh about yirah. Rebbe Nachman said he knew there's something called yirat elokut, there's fear of God. There's yirat haromemut, there's yirat haonesh, there's all different types of level of fear. But he said the feeling that he sensed when he heard these kolot ubrakim, and after being in the mikvah, what Rebbe Nachman was experiencing was a fear, a yira, not a fear, but a state of awe that the world had never, world Pashut did not know of. And I've been thinking a lot about what this means. I mean, not that I have a chance of understanding what it means, but if I had to kind of assume what Rebbe Nachman is speaking about and try to bring it into my level. Now, I only am doing this because Rebbe Nachman gave us reshus to take his Torahs and bring them to where we needed to be for our Avodas Hashem. So I would think like this. We learned from Rav Kook that the deepest level of yira is when I taste love and I'm petrified of losing it. So I instill myself with yira because I say to myself that chas v'shalom, I should ever lose this connection. So what does that do to me? Like when I really taste love, ahavas b'olam avtich, when I really taste love, when I really taste like what it means to be wrapped up, mamish, v'yamino techabkeni, when I could actually begin relating to shirim on some personal level, right? So the way that we learned it from Rav Kook, what we said is that there's such yira, there's such a pachad, that God forbid, heaven forbid, that I would actually not have that anymore. And that's a very scary thing. That's a very petrifying thing. So I don't know what Rebbe Nachman was speaking about this year, but the night of Shavuot, as much as it's Yantiv v'chulei, let's zone in on how Rebbe Nachman understood to prepare yourself for Shavuot. What we're going to be seeing tonight are two letters that Rebbe Nachman wrote to his son. One of the letters we were learning over this last Shabbos in our house. It's a very special letter that we learned. And the other one is really complementing it, and it's really mashlim it in a certain way. But many people show up at this time already, and they're like, oh my God, 6.5 weeks have passed. Am I again going to try to cram the night before? Or do I have a chance of actually being a little bit ready, a little bit prepared this year for this year's Shavuos? So this letter, Reb Nachman speaks to his son to explain to him how to get ready to the best of his ability. Hayira shel Shavuos, the Yira of Shavuos. Hashem Yisbarach Yizakenu lehayirah v'hasimcha v'akdusha v'atahara shel Chag Hanora HaKadosh haba aleinu l'tova. God should merit us for the proper Yira, the proper awe, the Simcha, the happiness, the holiness, and the purity of this awesome Chag that we're approaching. Im niskor nekuda achas, if we remember one point, me'otzem hayira hanimsheches b'Shavuos, from the utmost of the yira which is drawn down on Shavuos. Now, what was drawn down on Shavuos? Kmo shekasuv gam kol ha'olam kulo chal mipanecha, bekolos uvrakim alehem ofata. We say this, I think, in Rosh Hashanah and also Yom Kippur. Definitely Rosh Hashanah. I think just Rosh Hashanah, actually. And we speak about how at the time that you spoke to us, the world was shaking, shivering. The world itself was mizda'azeh legamre. So there's this kind of yira, you're when you're in awe of something. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't even know if you could hear it now, but we have these, I always feel like we're about to attack Iran. I don't know why. The planes fly here so low. They're constantly, I feel like it's mamish right over here. So when you think something's about to happen, what happens to your senses? They kind of pause and they ro'adim. Kol atzmosai ro'adim, right? So Reb Nachman says that it brings from Chazal how the whole world, there was an echo. Everyone heard God, the whole world heard that Hashem Yisbarach was talking to Am Yisrael. There was such an awe, there was such a yira that took place at that moment. So you could either say the yira means there was such love, and but at the same time there was such fear that, oh, Ribbon Hashem, I don't want to lose this moment. Or, you know what happens to us sometimes? We're called Orthodox, we're called religious, or we're called believers, however you want to define yourself. And then once in a blue moon, you actually realize that you believe in God. and then you're really freaked out. So there's these moments you have, and they instill tremendous awe. Tremendous awe. So Rebbe Nachman says to his son, if you could hold on to one moment of yirah, which is drawn from the holiday of Shavuos, then all the things he mentioned before, the yirah, the simcha, the kedusha, the tahara, it's all attainable. Ra'ui, he says, it's suitable lihizda'azeh me'ata bli shi'ur. It's suitable right now lihizda'azeh, which means to be completely shooken up to immeasurable amounts. Ve'im adayin ein anu zochim lezeh. And if we still don't merit to get a sense of the yirah that we're approaching, but by the way, I think that this year we have a tremendous opportunity to get a sense of Ma'amad Har Sinai more than we ever did. Because so often when it's about staying up all night in shul or with chavrusas, there's such a cheshbon of, okay, I'm going to learn with him till then, and then I'm going to have this amount of coffee until then, and then I'll hit the mikveh then, and then Rebbe Nachman was saying to us this year, Tazvu et zechavra. That's not it. This is something else. So Rebbe Nachman says, but if we still haven't merited this yira, al kol panim me'atar ra'ui lishpoch sichenu harbe kamayim nochach pnei Hashem. We still have these few days left in Sfiras HaOmer to pour out our hearts and souls before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like water before God. Heichan anachnu ba'olam, and ask, Ribbono Shel Olam, where are we in the world? Shekvar safarnu yoter mishisha shavuot. We already counted more than 6 weeks. V'adayin lo nitharnu lehargish hayirah shel shavuot. But yet, we still have not purified ourselves to the extent of getting access to the yirah of Shavuos. So I think Rebbe Nachman is saying, it's amazing how it's like he could have been writing it this week. Rebbe Nachman is saying if Sfira was done properly, if the consciousness of Taharat HaMidot and the approaching the mountain was actually something that was done like it should be, or like it could be, then what would you be feeling? You'd be feeling awe. It would be an awesome feeling. There'd be awe. You would tremble. So the lesson says, this is great. He's going to do this material. Where in the world am I in the world? In Dafka this year, I thought I was a good one. I thought I understood the midos a bit better. But if I'm not trembling before Shavuos, then where am I in the world? What do I think Sfirat HaOmer really is? Right? So he continues here, second paragraph. He tells his son, Hashem atov yichaper v'yagen aleinu v'yamshich aleinu b'rachma v'yirasa l'gdola. Hashem, the good God, will have Rahmanis on us. He'll protect us, and He'll draw onto us through His mercy, through His compassion, His great yira. She'ikuyam bano, that should be existing within us. And that the yira should be mamash apparent in our lives, on our faces, so that we don't go astray. So much so that the yira that we have doesn't keep us in a state of being freaked out, but that it's supposed to result in simcha gedola, tremendous happiness. Who was I talking to on? I forget who said this. Oh, Reb Simcha Hochbaum. He was saying to us on Yom Yerushalayim morning. He came. He was with us in Armenian, with the Chevra, and he said, no one sings Ivdu es Hashem be'yira, Ivdu es Hashem be'yira, ve'gilu bir'ada, right? It's Ivdu es Hashem be'simcha, that's the nigun we sing. But we know there's a pasuk, Ivdu es Hashem be'yira, ve'gilu bir'ada, rejoice with trembling. You ever rejoice while trembling? Very, very special thing. Rebbe Nachman says to his son, the way that we approach real yira is, how do I know if it's working? That it brings me to a place of tremendous simcha. Kmo shekasuv begilu bir'ada, and then in the bold type on the bottom it says v'zeh ikar shlemut ha'yir'ah k'shezochim al yada l'simcha. What's real completion of yir'ah? How do I know that the midah of yir'ah, of awe, is something that is really becoming chai v'kayim in me? If it leads me to a place of simcha. If it leads me to a place of simcha, then I know that it's working. Ukvar kasavnu v'dibarnu harbe mizeh. We spoke about this a lot already. She'afilu al yedei yiras ha'onesh zochim lesimcha al pi hadarachim shekibalnu lesameach nafshenu b'chol hanekudas tovos. Rav Nachman says, and we already spoke about this quite often, that even through fear of punishment, and that's a lower level of fear, but if that's what I have, you can eventually merit to receive simcha based on the ways that we, basically based on implementing a zamra in our lives. And that way, and in that manner, it leads us also to a place of simcha. So this is very, very important for many, many reasons. But I think that one of the main ones is that our concepts of simcha need to be clarified. Simcha does not just necessarily mean when I have a reason to be happy or I don't have a reason to be happy. Simcha can be, I'm so happy over the things that freak me out. I'm so happy that when I taste real love, I'm petrified of losing it. That makes me happy. Think about that for a second. I'm so happy that when I say goodbye to my Rebbe that I don't see, unfortunately, enough, even though Baruch Hashem, I do get to see him, feels like 6-7 times a year, but maybe even more, but I'm so happy that when I walk away, I'm in pain. Or I'm so happy that when I'm about to walk into the room where he is, I get filled with awe. It's not simcha, oh my God, I get to see my, it's not that. It's yira. But I'm so happy that these are the things that put me in the state of yira. V'chein hala. And there are many, many different examples, and they're different for, they're so different for many different people. But this concept of yira, how do I know that I really took it to the right place, or that it was incorporated in the right place? If it produces simcha at the end of the day, if it produces simcha by me. So Rebbe Nachman says, where's your yira at in the Sfira Somer account? Where are you in regards to yira? Where are you holding, right? What does it feel like? Are you getting a sense? Do you get a sense of, oh my God, it's Sunday night tonight in 4 nights? So Rebbe Nachman says, don't worry, just talk about that with God. Someone asked me yesterday, how am I supposed to approach Hisbodedus if I set a time, I go and I sit down and I do Hisbodedus, but it's not coming out? So the answer is, that's what you talk about. That's exactly what you speak about. Because by the Ribbono Shel Olam, where's the starting spot? The starting spot is definitely not what you think you're supposed to be saying. It's what you're actually feeling at that moment. That's the starting spot. Many of us would love to feel that Shavuot is here. I'm ready. I hear voices. I'm like, I know it can be like Rebbe Nachman coming out of the mikvah, Yira, and Ribbono Shel Olam. I was coroned this whole Sfira Somer. I had kids, I was juggling kids and chores and God knows, but I had time to focus on Sfira. I had time to focus on Tikkun Amidos, please. So the truth is we did have time, but that's a separate issue. It does feel like we didn't. But the way to approach this now as we're going towards the mountain is that right now it can happen in a second. That right now we decide, Ribbono Shel Olam, I have a dream. I have a dream to approach you in a few days, beyira. Can you please explain to me how I achieve that? And in the beginning, when you feel so far from it, it doesn't feel so good. But it feels good to at least get it off your chest and speak that to the Ribbono Shel Olam. And eventually it'll bring you to this place of simcha. So now look at the second letter that Reb Nachman wrote to his son. And in the second letter, we speak about the similar concept from a little bit of a different angle. V'hinei yemei hashavos hakdoshim mimash meshinu va'in. Reb Nachman says to his son, Shavuos is around the corner. Baal harachmi, master of compassion. Yachus aleinu, have compassion on us. Shenizke ligmor yemei hasvira b'kedusha u'b'tahara. Let us finish off the counting. Not just to make sure I continue saying it with the bracha, then obviously, but that the way that I incorporate Sfiras Omer into my life, Reb Nachman says, may we finish it off b'kedusha u'b'tahara. Like let it be like this last week, these last few days, let us go out with a bang, right? Sheniske al kol panim me'ata, that no matter what happened, this is why this piece really connected to the previous piece. Sheniske al kol panim me'ata, that I don't know what happened until now, but I know that from right now it starts. That I should merit that from right now, le'achin atzmeinu karaui, le'kabbalas haTorah hakadosha b'chag hakadosh hazeh, haba alinu letovah. From this second, right now, Sunday night in Eretz Yisrael, 9:05, Sunday afternoon in New York, 2:05, right? That right now, I don't know what happened until now, from Pesach till now, but now, I have laser vision. I'm laser beam focused. I'm about to meet you at Har Sinai. Please, Ribono Shel Olam, show me how to prepare myself from this second on. Ve'im omnam, Reb Nachman says, fourth line, Ve'im omnam adayin tzrichim l'shaber halev al zeh harbe. If you still need to break your heart over this a lot, ulevakesh ulitchanen lifanav yitbarach al zeh harbe. And if you still need so many hisbodedus sessions crying over this, because you still don't feel like you're ready. So Reb Nachman says, then go for it. Velifkot lefanav bidmaos shlish. You should cry before Hashem bidmaot shlish. Dmaot shlish is it's a phrase, it's a concept of it's like a measurement. It's like a crazy amount of tears. Keben habochel lifnei aviv, like a child that's crying before his father. שיקרבנו גם כן בתוך בני ישראל הכשרים, הזוכים לקבלת התורה בשבועות. This is like what we always go through. Rebbe Nachman, when I go to shul and I see that guy shuckling by the last night of Sfira, and they're by the Shara Chamishim, and oh, he's ready, and where am I? So I have that vision of that person already that did all the preparations, they're already set, they're ready in Efu Ani Ba'olam. So whether that's true or not, it's irrelevant. Reb Nachman saying, "V'sim chelkeinu imahim." Whoever it is that is receiving the Torah this year, mosh tzarich, sim chelkeinu imahim, sim chelki itam. I want to be with them. Like he says, "Betoch bnei Yisrael haksherim hazochim lekabbalat Torah b'Shavuot." Af al pi chen, though Reb Nachman says, even though I told you cry, but then Reb Nachman says, "Af al pi chen beyoter tzrichim lechazek et atzmeinu besimcha." Bechol yom. Yes, you might have this awakening now that you don't feel like you're ready for Shavuos. And what is the Satan going to do with that? I got you. Now you're feeling holy because you're feeling guilty. You never heard that sound? Never heard that voice? I got you right where I want you. Now you're feeling holy because you're feeling guilty. That's the anthem of the other side. That's the anthem. They have us convinced. It's mind-blowing. They have us convinced with that, like mamish with everything. So Reb Nachman said, I know, I told you to cry and cry because those tears will bring you to be with amongst those that are going to receive God's words this year for the first time. But there's only one nikuda. While you do all the crying, you got to make sure that these last few days towards Shavuos is also someone that's so besimcha that this is where they're heading. You have to mechazik yourself with simcha every single day. Why? So Reb Nachman ends the paragraph here in something very important. Ki ikar hakli lekabbalas haTorah was simcha. You want to receive the Torah. You want to receive the gift. Reb Nachman says the kli, the vessel into which you place the gift is the Torah, and you want to take it with you, right? Reb Nachman says, don't kid yourself. If you walk away from Har Sinai crying, I don't deserve it, I don't deserve it, God says, you know what? We'll talk next year. But if you walk away from Har Sinai saying, I don't deserve it, but you decide to give it to me anyway, then the Kli is ready. And the vessel's there. And this is all based, K'moshe Muvuar B'Torah, V'yomer Boaz El Rut. There's a famous teaching in Likutei Moharan. One year, that was all I did one night, I remember. It was years ago. I was with my parents in Ranana before I was married, and Leil Shavuot, this is what I was learning all night. It was so sweet. There was such sweetness in the air. Anyway, it's a long Torah. V'yomer Boaz El Rut, and it's the whole teaching there is Al Ma'amar Raboteinu Zal, Atid HaKadosh Baruch Hu La'asot Machol HaTzadikim. That in the future, the Ribbono Shel Olam is going to make a machol, a circle, a dance for the tzaddikim, La'atid Lavo. So then Reb Nachman says like this. This is so interesting how brutally honest he is here with his son. And he says, you know what? B'toch kotvi zot, as I'm writing this down, what I just wrote you right now, nizkarti ne'imut hitnotzitzut shebelibi. I was just remembered of the pleasantness of a spark that's in my heart, mizot Torah Kedosha, from that teaching from Rebbe Nachman that speaks about how the kli to hold the Torah is Simcha. So Rebbe Nachman says, I just thought about that Torah, and some kind of pleasantness started sparkling, buzzing off my heart. Ve'eni yodea od ma lichtov lecha mirov hatshuka shebelibi. I don't even know what else I could write to you from such passion that's in my heart that I'm speechless right now. But this is what I'm feeling. Kisham, in that teaching, medaber mitnotzitzut elokut ubitul el ha'ein sof. In that teaching, Reb Nachman speaks about a sparkling, a ray of light of godliness, and bitul El Ha'ein Sof, self-nullification to the eternal, infinite one. That a person, and I'm just going to translate this and then explain this to the best of my ability outside. Ad sharishimu me'ir lehadat, until the imprint illuminates the knowledge, ulamshich misham haTorah, and to draw down from this place that was just created, Torah. How do you draw down the Torah from this place that was just created? Okay. What just happened over here? What's the point that we're trying to do? We're trying to figure out a way to take with us what Hashem has given us. So we know that the vessel is called Simcha. And in the vessel called Simcha, that's a place where the Torah can be taken, can be drawn from. But how do you create this vessel called Simcha? So in that teaching that Rebbe Nachman taught about, he speaks about when there's this sparkling of godliness in your life, which thus causes you to go into a state of utmost bittul, right? Bittul ela ein sof. And many of us have those moments where bittul is not really that difficult. You almost feel like you're taken captive by bittul and you love it. Meaning it's not this thing you work really hard on getting. It's that you're at a concert and you hear someone start singing, you hear those notes, or you hear something. Like sometimes I hear Rav Weinberger just say certain phrases. On Friday, we were learning online, he was saying the words, Na'aseh v'nishma. Na'aseh v'nishma. The way he said it, Na'aseh v'nishma. I was completely mevutal in that moment, but it wasn't because I did anything. It's because the koyach of the tzaddik just like, you hear these phrases, Na'aseh v'nishma. From a person that lives it. So anyway, Reb Nachman says that Reb Nachman explains that when there's moments where you're so mevutal, where you're so self-nullified, what happens is that creates an imprint in your mind. Even though you're completely nullified and you say, I don't even have a da'at, I'm so mevutal to something else, at that moment, you created a vacant space for Hashem to stamp himself in your mind. And then what happens is you draw Torah from that place that was now carved into you because you got out of the way. You got out of the way. Now there's new light of Torah in you. You draw down from there the Torah, and this is through Simcha, which becomes a kli for Kabbalah Satorah. Rebbe Nachman says, Shekol zeh hu sod Shavuos zman Toratenu. This is the secret of Shavuos. So why am I so excited about it this year? Because it's almost not even worth planning anything for the Shavuos. Other than tefillahs, crazy tefillahs, Hashem, please, may I merit to build a kli of Simcha. As opposed to, this year I'm going to learn this from 11 to 1, and then this from 1 to 3, mikvah at 3:30, then Rus, then... Ze lo ha'avodah hashana. That's not the avodah. And I know that's very hard for people to hear, especially people of structure, which generally is usually a very holy and healthy guideline to live by. But these kind of things can't be scripted. The place we're speaking about right now of bittul to the Ein Sof, thus causing a he'ara, illumination in the mind to draw down Torah from this place. You can't say, at 1 a.m. I'm planning on experiencing a complete self-nullification. It doesn't work. You just got to show up, but the truth is you got to prepare yourself for this. These last few days of the Sfira, this is what we cry over. Because this is the secret of what Shavuos is all about, Rebbe Nachman says. Man omar, third line from the bottom, man omar u'man edaber. What can we say? In malelo asenan la'alma ela lemishma da'adi v'dai v'hose. Rebbe Nachman says over here, like he said many times, if only to come into this world, to hear that teaching from Rebbe Nachman, it would have been enough. V'chein bechol Torah v'Torah. But really, it was like this with every teaching Rebbe Nachman ever said. Baruch Baal Harachamim, blessed is the Master of Mercy. Ha'osech hasadim niflaim b'chol dor v'dor, who does wondrous, tremendous kindness and good things in every single generation. Well, we have a really, really beautiful opportunity this year. And it's going to take a lot of guts. It's going to take a lot of azus dekdusha, a lot of holy chutzpah. That, of course, we're still going to plan to whatever we plan. I mean, you need to have some, you're not supposed to say, okay, this year I'm not planning, I'm just going to sit around and hopefully I'll just feel it and I'll know, right? That's not it either. Forget about Shavuos. What about right now? Remember last week? Everyone took upon themselves 15 minutes of his baitas, right? Raise your hand. No, you don't have to raise your hand, but we took it upon ourselves last week, right? However, we want to taste the side of Shavuos. It's not a test to see if it happens the night of Shavuos itself. We have a few more days, 3 more days of counting. 3-4 days, that's it. Rebbe Nachman says, what a perfect time to start to get ready. It couldn't be a more perfect time to start to get ready and tune into the concept of Yira. So I give us all a bracha, a strong bracha, give me a bracha back, that when we say we should have a Shavuos like we never had before, I'm not worried about Shavuos being Shavuos. Mekadesh Yisrael v'azmanim. Shavuos has such kedusha in it, I'm not worried about that. What I'm more concerned about is Sunday night, is Sunday afternoon. What am I going to do now? I ended Shir 12 minutes early for everybody, right? Didn't go to 9:30. What am I going to do for the next 12 minutes? Ribono Shleim, v'simcha l'keinu imayim. Even if I don't know what that means to be amongst those that are the real receivers of your Torah, Hashem, at least I want to. And I'm going to keep on talking to you and crying before you because I know I need you so badly, and I need to rid myself of all my preconceived notions of what you are, who I am, what we are, what receiving of the Torah is, yada, yada, yada. It's all great. And it was all perfect until now. Now it's a new world. We can do this. The truth is, we don't have the luxury not to. This is our time to go the extra mile. This is our time to become our own Rebbes. This is our time to cry without forcing the tears. It's our time right now to receive the Torah like it was never received before. It's our time to be besimcha. This is our time. Thank you so much for being with us. Be'ahava rabba, besimcha rabba. Ve'amru chula mi chamocha b'elim Hashem. Laila tov, everybody.